Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hello, everyone. Hi. Glad to have you lot at the front. There's a response straight away. First up, big up Rachel Anson on the DJ decks in Sweet. And thank you so much for all coming down today. Hi, Nelly. You're right over there. Hey, you little slickhead. Cute. This is such an amazing turnout for Girl Boss. I was here it weren't even a year ago. I think it was like a few months. I put on Instagram. Yeah, a year ago. Someone's like, sorry, what, mate? No. A few months ago, and coming back and it being sold out for the second time is incredible. So thank you for coming down, first of all. Today is an amazing day for women, and it's like the first time since the last one, I think, that I've been in a room with so many young, beautiful creatives that actually want to succeed in life and want to find, inspiration at any opportunity, and this is what today's about. If you don't know already, you're supposed to leave here feeling empowered and inspired and just like, oh, I love women, yeah, woo! And basically, just if there's anybody that you know on the panel already that you want to follow in their career path, or if you've seen online somewhere and you felt like, I like what they're doing, but I have no idea how to get into it, this is why you need to get your notepad out, or I know 2016 iPhone notes, all of that stuff. So I feel like everybody's in the room at the moment. We are all here inside. We have a Snapchat filter today, which is very exciting because I never got a Snapchat filter on my birthday. My nan never had one. My dad ain't seen one. So if you have got any opportunities to use it, please do, because then people on Snapchat will be like, what's Girl Boss? If they don't already know. We also have a raffle. So the raffle, all the money goes to breast cancer awareness and sickle cell awareness, and we have prizes to win at the same time. So maybe we've got £1, a 120p, 5p, anything, you can be in with a chance of winning. So yeah, get involved in that. But first, I feel like a little bit boring because I did this last time, but who was here last time? Hands. Okay, not too many of you. I was like, I don't want to talk about myself because everyone heard it last time, but no, there's loads of new faces here. So I'm a presenter, my name's Maya Jama, and... What, mate? Yeah. Excuse me, can I have a quick word? Yeah, I have been presenting properly since I was like, I want to say 18 because that's when I actually got paid. I was doing it for free from about 17 and like running everywhere and literally getting in the back of people's videos just to get my face out and like, hi, yeah, you're filming. But when I actually left my job, I used to work at Urban Outfitters when I first moved to London, was at 18. So I feel like hang on, wait, actually, who wants to be a presenter in here? Okay, Julie Adenuga wants to be a presenter. Fucking hell. Okay, yeah, so there's a few of you. So I always felt like I wanted to be on telly and I wanted to do something because I was so shit in school and I would just want to make people laugh. Like, so when everyone's doing geography, didn't have a clue, don't even know where Wales is if I had to find it on the map. And yeah, nothing excited me basically, apart from being in front of a camera or trying to just do stuff. And so I felt like, yeah, I want to be on TV, but as a young girl, when you want to be on telly, it seems so far. Because you see people and you're just like, so where's the middle ground? Like, where do you start? Where do you go? And at my stage, when I was little, 16, there was no YouTube generation. Nowadays, it's like, okay, you can literally sit in your bedroom and just record a video and get 10 million views if you're entertaining or interesting. But back then, there wasn't that. And you'd see all these, like, I don't know, typically pristine, like, middle-aged women on TV, or there was T4, which was amazing, but that stopped when I started, so it was like, I can't get in that way. And I suppose I just kind of wanted to be around people that were in a similar industry or a similar environment that I was in. So I moved to London at 16 from Bristol. There's one Bristolian over there. I was going to say he's from Bristol. Oi, oi, right, my lover? Yeah, moved from Bristol. And I had a really supportive mum who was just kind of like, do what you want to do. I had an auntie that lived in London. And if it fails, come back to Bristol and you can just do the uni and do everything else. Not that my GCSEs were that great, but I would have blagged it. And so I went to London, joined college, Westminster Kingsway. Did anybody go? One sheet is plenty. Yeah, so I went there and I was a bit like, okay, I'm studying media and performing arts, but like this isn't telling me how to be on TV. Like you go in, they're doing all like, all of that stuff and you learn how to do like faces and reactions, but it's like, if I go to a TV studio and say, I want to be on your show, they're gonna be like, so what experience do you have? And I feel like that's the most difficult thing. When you're young and you want to get into an industry, everybody wants someone that has experience already. But if you don't have any experience, how do you get the job that gives you experience? And for me, I just went to, who knows about Jump Off? Jump Off, yeah. So I met somebody at my college that was doing little camera work for Jump Off, and I also knew Shams and Lena who worked for Face for Music, and they had contacts in Jump Off, and they were kind of like, we'll just help out in the office, go around, be around them so that they know about you. And they had the live events, which had like, I don't know, you had like label people and industry people, and you could go and meet people there. So I started going to them, giving out teas in the office, sitting down, helping out, and then told them what I wanted to do. So they were aware that I wanted to be on camera, but wasn't really sure. And one day they were like, okay, here's the camera, go upstairs, like make a little video and see what comes out. So I went upstairs, did like, I can't remember what my first video was. I think it was just a rant, like me just chatting absolute shit to a camera, but like made little silly faces and ran into the shot and did that, showed them, and they're like, oh, okay, well you can speak in front of a camera, you've got the starting points, I suppose. Long story short, on that sense, they had another presenter that was doing their weekly music video chart countdown thing, and she was ill for a little bit, so they're like, oh, go on, have a go. Did that, and they were like, okay, you can try and do that. Got that show. And then from there, it was just free presenting work. So as I said, I was in the background of videos, or I was just running around doing little extra stuff. And a channel called Copper 90, which are like this football channel online. They're the biggest football channel in Europe now, but at the time, they were just starting up. They needed a presenter to do their series called Football Virgin, which is basically a series about a girl that didn't know anything about football, and I had to learn as much as I could and go to Wembley and meet these like lads and do all this stuff. So that was amazing for me because I got that, and that was my first proper paid job, and that was online. So it felt like this is what I'm a bit used to, but now it's a job. Still working at Urban Outfitters. And then from that, I got another job through Sky, which is basically like I don't know what to call it, like a celebrity sports kind of chat show, but that was in a real TV studio, and we did filming from like 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., and we had to get like 5 shows out. So it was a proper blessing and also like a training ground for me because I had no TV experience, but they were like, this is the worst it's going to get, basically. You've got to get out 7 shows from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be easy from here if you can master this. So we did that. I got used to that. And it was kind of just like a rolling ball from there. But I was 18 at that point. So that was like, okay, you want to get excited by yourself. Like, yeah, I've made it and I'm doing proper telly. But no one weren't watching that show. That was literally out in like India, Africa, Thailand, and England. Nobody watched it. So I would get tweets from like an African man in Nigeria, like, I love your show. And I'm like, okay. All right, that's good. So people are watching, but just not my mate down the road. So I'm trying to show off on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, but no one gives a shit. But that was my training. And then from there, like, it was kind of just went like one after the other. And that was my experience. And I could say to people, like, I got an agent because they start getting interested once you've got like an actual payroll. And I feel like an agent did help me a lot. Some people don't need them. Some people have them later in their career. But for me, I didn't know TV people. I didn't have any connections like that. And my agent really pushed me to jobs that I'd want, but I would have no way of getting in touch with, basically. So yeah, from that one, I did more stuff with Copper 90. I went to Brazil for 2 months. At 18 years old, was literally just like, woo, best job in the world. Went to do the World Cup coverage for them and Hyundai, and then came back and was like, I want to just do everything. Like, that was my lift, I think. Once I did that trip, I felt like, okay, this is my proper job. I left Urban Outfitters, and I was like, well, if this fails, definitely can't go back to Bristol now because I've already posted on Facebook that I've made it, and everyone's going to be like, get out. And yeah, I just feel like I had this hunger, which maybe I don't feel like I have so much now, actually, when I was around 16, 17, 18, that you're fearless and you haven't had any knockbacks and you haven't had people tell you that, you know, you're not right or you're not good, and you're just kind of like, well, I love this. This is telly. This is proper. And kind of like a naivety almost I had, but it was a drive at the same time. And I feel like as women, when we get older and you have experienced knockbacks and you have experienced people tell you no for stuff, it's easy to be like, fuck this, I don't want to do it anymore. That's not the state of mind we should have, really, is it? It's not. But even I, at this stage, do find myself like, oh, don't want to do it, meh, it's long. Like, I don't want to stand up here and paint a picture of everything's amazing, because I know I'm like happy, woo! Everyone thinks my life's perfect. But you do have doubts, and you do get sad, and you do feel like presenting isn't a long career for a lot of people. Like, you have it when you're young and you're popping or whatever, but when you get to 30 and your eyes down there, or, you know, your legs a bit wobbly, no one wants to hire you as much. In some industries, it is true. But I feel like you just have to have like an inner belief in yourself, which I have always had. And just a thing of like, you know what, when you don't get a certain job, it's the hardest thing ever to accept that it wasn't for you. If you've set your heart on it and you've gone and you've been like, oh, I want this so much, and you've prayed about it and you've told everyone, to not get it is the hardest thing ever, and I've experienced it a few times, and you sit there and you're like, shit, all right, okay, was well certain about that one, booked a nail treatment, got a massage in, that fee's not coming in. But just to feel like you can pick yourself up is very important, because in any industry, I can't speak for everyone, but I know that there's knockbacks everywhere, and unless you're like Super Saiyan star, you're not going to get every job. But from Copper 90 and from everything like that, I went to MTV and then Rinse, and now I'm at Full Music, and I wanted to tell, is anyone filming? I've got some secret information, but I'm really excited about it at the moment. I'm doing I did a Channel 5 documentary before, which was about sex and dating, and if Tinder and Grindr and everything's ruined romance, and you know how hard it is to find love nowadays when everyone just wants to shag. And that did really well, but I've never ever in my whole life done anything serious. Like, if any of you follow me on everything, it's always been like a laughy joke and Maya, yeah, lols. And this is the first ever time that I'm actually doing something that's personal and serious. So it's a documentary about, I want to be like, raise your hand if the dad wasn't in your life. Who hasn't had their dad in their lives? Okay, a few people. It's fine. So my dad has been in jail since I was about 3 and in and out till now. And I decided not to speak to him when I was about 12, based on the fact of he was bad to family members and he's just a violent guy. So I decided not to speak to him, but really abruptly, and then moved to London. So I haven't spoke to him since I was really, really little. And so I'm doing a documentary now about like the effects that having an absent father can have on children, and how you grow up and you repeat the same traits as your parent without knowing. Because I've always felt like subconsciously and just awarely, like when I speak about my dad, it's a joke. Like, oh yeah, dad's in jail, jokes. Like, yeah, what did your dad do? Yeah, beat someone up, Like, I've always just, because it's my character, made a joke out of everything serious in my life, I feel like. And only now I'm starting to be like, hey Maya, you're 22, like, be serious a bit now. How do you feel about it? And I've started to feel all these different emotions towards him. And this whole documentary is basically a journey of finding out about why he did the things he did, and meeting other people with absent fathers or violent fathers, alcoholic fathers, whatever. And just learning their side. And eventually, I'm like in the middle stage of it at the moment, but I'm going to decide whether or not I want to meet up with him and speak to him about everything. So it's mental for me. Yeah, it is mental. But I feel like sometimes you need closure on stuff, and I didn't feel like I needed closure, but if it can help other people that maybe do, and if I find stuff, which I am finding at the moment, like I felt like, oh, you know, you never want to be that person to cry on telly, and you're listening to other people's stories and like, can I just, give me a minute, and I'm doing all of that, and I'm like, wow, like I feel like in the past week that I've been doing it, or 2 weeks, that I've matured so much in myself, and I've learned so much about myself, and just also seen a different side of things. And I just wanted to share that with you guys in case anybody was going through a similar thing or struggling with stuff, or like myself, you just make a joke out of everything, and there are serious issues in life that maybe facing them face to face, and for me on camera, which is just, you know, I might as well put my job with my personal life together if I'm doing it anyway, is a lot. But I feel like what I'm going to come out from it is going to be amazing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm knackered because I was in Isle of Wight talking to some nutcase last night. But I'm here and I'm so happy to be here. And I've been looking forward to this for so long, because last time I left feeling like, like you just feel good after these things. Like to see all of you lot here, and to see your faces, and to see that everybody's so willing to learn, and just for people that have done so well to share their experiences and to get it is a beautiful thing. Because I remember when I started, I didn't have stuff like this, and I don't remember there being even the option to learn about people in your like dream position or whatever, and how to get there, because it seems far. Like you look at people on TV and you're on the other side of the screen, it's like, let me reach. But yeah, so that's my story basically, all in a wrap. I don't know whether to do, okay, yeah. Does anybody have any questions for me before we move on to anybody else? Oh, that is well awkward. Okay, yeah, hey. Okay, nowadays, I would say YouTube is like the most powerful thing ever. You could literally live in a bush in the corner and become bigger than the person you see on telly, because you have the tools. Get a camera, if it's presenting that you want to do, get a camera, record what you want to do, interview your friends, anything that can show your kind of experience. For me, I feel like YouTube is the key for that kind of stuff, and just at people, like annoy them. And everyone gets them that come in your mentions, and you're like, can you just fuck off, please? You're just at me. But you see it, and eventually the right person will notice. I feel like persistence. Don't be disheartened, and go to things like this. Go to places where you can meet people in the same field, talk to them, send show reels are key as well. And like I said, with no experience, the show was a myth, but make your own. If you know anyone that's got a camera, get them to film you either doing an interview or at an event, speaking to people, just any kind of aspects of presenting that you can get together. Make a little show reel and there's something. Do you know what I mean? If it's not proper experience, you've got a package to show someone, I think. Yeah? Is that an right answer? Yeah. I tried. Okay, anybody else? No? Okay. Oh, you. Hey, love. It depends. It's completely different for everybody. For me, agent came in when I was doing the Sky show. I didn't know how to do invoices, and so I was getting like money in, and I was like, I don't know what to do because you've got like tax and all this stuff, which I'm still a bit about. But you keep that one down there. But yeah, you usually, well, actually, in my case, the production company said you need an agent because you don't know how to handle and deal with this stuff. So I actually approached my director and said, can you give me emails of agents that I can email? And I emailed them saying, hi, I'm doing this. I need help because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm getting paid for stuff now. So can you help me? And then I met with some, and then they decide if they want you, and you decide if you want them. But it depends. If you feel like you can handle that, I've got friends that are presenters and they do all their accounts and everything themselves, then you can. But for me, an agent helped because she had all her inner connections and stuff like that. But when you feel ready and when you're getting paid to an extent that an agent would want to, because I'm not going to front, they're not going to want to be a part of your thing if you're not getting any money that's going to benefit them. Because my agent gets 20%. So I have to at least be making enough for her to get something, otherwise what's the point? Do you know what I mean? And they fight for you harder to get themselves money to get you work. So it kind of works hand in hand. But I wouldn't say get an agent straight away. Get an agent when you feel like you're ready and when you feel like you can't handle it yourself. Yeah. Okay. If there's no more questions, we will move on.